I met Josh through Aaron, actually, because those two had been friends since, what, high school? Younger?
I mean,
middle school, I think. I think we originally met through church.
Well, so yeah, we knew each other at church. I mean, since kindergarten.
Yes,
for sure.
yes.
Well, you went to school with me in kindergarten, then left. Like, I don't know, man. You just left.
I left. I just
You packed your bags and went on the journey?
Yeah.
Thought you were Bilbo Baggins?
Thought he was spot the height.
So I am joined by Bilbo Baggins Westplate here, as well as Mr. Aaron Johnson. I love Josh's look on his lips. If I could capture that into image, and I was fast enough to take a picture of it, I would. But I'm not, so good luck, Johnson, taking that picture. Anyways, welcome to another episode of Use Your Words podcast. As Aaron's trying to grab a picture of Josh right now.
Always.
So thank you for joining us. If you do like what you're hearing here, go ahead and leave us a review on iTunes, or Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or wherever you're listening to this from.
Spoofy.
Spotify, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Share us with a friend, share us with an enemy, share us with Aaron.
With a frenemy.
Share us with Aaron. Send Aaron a link to the own podcast that he's on.
So
That'd actually be entertaining.
I might not guarantee a listen to it if you send it to me, though.
Why not?
Because I don't need them to send it to me. I already got it. I'm a subscriber to my own podcast.
Good job. Hey, Aaron.
Yeah. Do I get a cookie?
No, you don't get a cookie. You don't get a cookie. However, because everyone has joined us for another episode of Use Your Words podcast,
yeah,
you know what is good thing to do? It's time to do something that you love so much.
Here's Aaron's word of the week.
All right.
Geesh.
I actually did not prepare words of the week for this month because I wasn't actually thinking we were going to get together and record in person. But we did. And since I didn't pick any words, I was like, okay, whatever. We just won't do them. And then Josh goes, can we use the word that I picked? And I said, yes. Yes, we can. So I have no idea what this word is either. Actually, I have zero idea what this word is.
Whoa.
So Josh, it is all on you, sir. When you are ready for me to click off the timer, obviously I will.
I hate you.
You ready?
No.
Are you ready, my friend?
So first, give him what
the name,
the word is, and then
catawampus. I'm gonna break it apart for you. Catawampus. Catawampus.
I've heard that before, but I've never used that word.
I know you haven't, but you've probably have had
use
one.
it in the sentence.
Okay.
So you ready, Josh? Then to get him to. All right. So you got a minute starting now.
All right. So Aaron, when you were young, young, you probably had a catawampus.
Okay.
All right. So when you're young,
toy?
Huh?
Like a toy?
No. It's a living, breathing scout. What is scout?
He's a puppy.
But what is he generally speaking?
A dog?
No. Besides that, what is he? You have humans, and you have.
He's a baby. What? An animal.
Okay. All right. Now, a catawampus is a untamed
animal. It's a wild animal.
Okay, but something that is very aggressive. What's another word for aggressive?
Mean.
Nope.
I don't know. Shoot, why can't I think of another word for aggressive?
So, if something is in the woods and it's aggressive and it's what's another word for it?
I didn't even think.
Okay, well let's check into this. When you're young, you have a mind of
my own.
A mind of
my own.
Time.
A mind of imagination.
What?
It's an imaginary, fierce, wild animal.
Imaginary, wild,
fierce, wild animal.
Wild animal.
Catawampus.
What's that from? Oh,
I just found it.
I just found it.
I looked up weird words, and I'm like, oh, he's done that one already.
I hate you.
I love Me Too. Let's see. Catawampus, Gardy Lou, Paradiddle, Snickersnee. I think we've done that one.
Snickersnee? That does sound
Wittershins,
familiar.
Collywobbles. I think we did that.
Yeah.
Goobins, Bumfuzzle.
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 I like that word.
Well, here's the other thing. Catawampus can also be used as an adjective, meaning something that is a situation that's gone completely out of control.
Oh, okay.
That's where I feel like I've probably heard that used.
Probably. So, yes.
It's gone all cattywampus and stuff.
Catawampus. Cattywampus, huh? Well, you know what? Actually, in a way, that's a perfect word for today.
Good job, Josh.
I don't know if Josh actually planned that or
No,
not.
he
Probably
probably
didn't.
No.
Because
No.
if you're looking at American politics right now, well,
It's
it's a little cattywampus all over the place.
It is.
It's a little, well, it's a little off control. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about the whole China. Did it come from a lab? Did it come from a bat? Did it come from wherever else? I'm just talking about the presidential election cycle at this point.
Right.
So let me ask this question then.
Oh no.
What do you mean, oh no?
That's just that's how I always respond to you, Paul.
Well, that's great. Good to know. What has happened to Biden this election cycle?
Doesn't seem like a whole lot of good.
Okay, what
And-
specifically has he been accused of?
Sexual harassment stuff.
It goes beyond harassment.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
Josh, I'm assuming you're aware of the Biden fun?
Sexual assault on somebody 27 years ago.
Yeah, Tara Reid.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh,
27 years
she
ago.
alleges, and this is what she's alleging, okay, that he pushed her up against the wall, put his hand down, then up her skirt, and then penetrated her with a finger.
Oh,
That's what she alleges. Okay, so just so we're setting the ground here on what the allegation is. Now, at this time, May 3rd, it has not been proven one way or the other. There's just the allegation out there. There's the discussion about what should the next steps be, et cetera, et cetera. But we're not here to talk about is Biden guilty or not, because I'm not going to know that probably ever. We're never really going to know that. However, I was thinking about this, and the thought that came to my head was how this allegation is being treated, contrast to Blasey Ford's allegation against Kavanaugh when that came up.
mm-hmm.
So Biden is campaigning, and he's the de facto nominee at this point, because everyone else has dropped out of the race. The only thing that hasn't happened is the convention hasn't happened to officially say Biden is our nominee.
Right.
Barring some crazy event happening at the convention where everyone turns around and goes, we're not voting for Biden, we're voting for random person over there, whoever that may be. It might be Brewer, for all we know.
I'll vote for you. No, I won't. Why would I vote for you for president?
Why not?
He's too young, first off,
Yeah.
so he
Oh,
can't.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are
You
actually
can get
Look
that
at the-
amended.
Nope.
having time. Anyways, not
If we can kill babies.
not dealing with his attempts at trolling right now. He can go catch his dog's poop right now. Anywho, what I was getting at is, barring, that happening, right? Biden is probably going to be the nominee, Now, barring what happens with this investigation, he may not be. That's beyond the point. At this point, he is the de facto, and he's probably going to be the nominee.
I'd
So
imagine.
I'm assuming, and I'm saying assuming, so I'm going to ask this here before my assumption gets me in trouble too much. I'm assuming both of you are aware of the whole Kavanaugh thing when he was when he was nominated to be Supreme Court and during his confirmation for being Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
all that
correct?
stuff came up.
Okay, so what came up? Just
Well, it was similar stuff to like with Biden. I guess would not harassment but assault on women passed.
Yeah, but Blasey Ford said accused Kavanaugh of a few things, and she said talk to these people that they can probably corroborate. What she's saying in that. Okay, fine. And then now you have, and essentially, and this is maybe, I don't know. When I was listening to news, all I heard was like, we have to believe Ford. She's credible. There's nothing against, we have to believe her. In fact, this was some senators 1 week after Blasey Ford made her accusation.
Let me just say right at the outset, I believe Dr. Ford. I believe the survivor here. There's every reason to believe her. She has come forward courageously and bravely, knowing that she would face a nightmare of hostile and vicious scrutiny and challenge.
So that was 1 week after Ford came forward and said, this is what Kavanaugh did, and again, I'm not like saying that and saying, well, obviously she's a liar or anything. I was like, no, that's what she said. That was her accusation. Due process should be done. I'm in all agreement with that. So I'm not saying like, oh, she came forward, blah, blah, blah. But what I find funny, and I say funny in a very loose sense here, I say it in a very sarcastic sense, is that a week after, immediately everyone's jumping to her defense, which is fine. But now, 2020, time of Corona, an accuser comes forward about Biden, and I don't have a crickets sounder right now, but I would be playing crickets right now if that was the case.
Yeah, because there's nothing.
I have a hard time when it comes to, now there are people out there going to scrutinize me for saying this, but if you confess at a time of political movement, I feel like there is a lot of either exaggeration or there's a lot of movement going behind when you have a confession, because people who get sexually assaulted are quiet about it. It's embarrassing. It's a sense of loss of self-control. It's a lot of mind game stuff. So why would these people want to wait 30 years? Okay, let's say it's 30 years. In this case,
Right.
it's 27. Why would these people want to wait at all? It's especially, why would they want to come out when there's a big political move? They didn't come out to begin with because they didn't want people knowing, but now they're doing it when there's this big political move. To me, it kind of ruffles my feathers because it's hard. It's a very delicate area because you can't discredit somebody who goes through something so traumatizing. But
Right.
when it involves politics, it's like it kind of flips the coin. These victims don't want to be known by public that they were assaulted, but now they're suddenly coming out and willing to open themselves up when this person's about to go in this new office position. To me, it's like, okay, either it didn't happen or there's a lot of movement for them behind the scenes that they don't care if the public knows now because something else is going on in the background. If it's money or if it's treatment or maybe it's, something. It's like in other words, if you're violated, you would rather do it quietly with the local authorities that could possibly level up to the FBI. And then from there, you get it taken care of. I wouldn't wait. And I wouldn't want to wait. And especially, I wouldn't want to be in front of the whole United States trying to discredit somebody when I'm putting myself in the spotlight of being a victim. Now, granted, there are some cases to where, watching Criminal Minds and stuff, it's kind of interesting, But
Right.
anyways, yeah, there very well some of these people could find satisfaction in declaring themselves a victim in front of everybody. There could be a level that maybe this did happen, but they didn't feel like they would get a really good a thing of sympathy from people unless it was a mass thing. And since these people are in these political positions, now they can do it, and get a reward from it. I don't know. It's challenging for me because when you have each side does it. They did it to Trump. Now they're doing it to Biden. Regardless if it's politically motivated or biased to begin with, it always happens when somebody goes into an office.
Yes. Okay. So a couple things here with this, and I'm not saying Josh, you're wrong, shut up, or anything like that. So don't think I'm saying that. Yeah, both, Kavanaugh and, with Ford, and now Tara Reid with Biden. Yes, both are political. Let's look at the facts here. Tara Reid is definitely a Bernie supporter. She is. That's not a if and or what thing. She is. Okay. So is she maybe a little butthurt, by the fact that Biden is the nominee? Maybe. Don't know. At the same time, this is 27 years ago at the same time. She has said that she did file a report with the Senate office. There is a recording actually of her mother calling into Larry King asking like, hey, what should my daughter do? And then both Tara Reid and others have verified that is her mother. Now, unfortunately, can't ask the mother because she has passed away at this point in time. So you can't, go to the mother and be like, did you call into Larry King's show?
I'm sure maybe they'll crack out the Ouija board and try and contact her.
So they've also talked to Tara Reid's former neighbor who has confirmed and said, yeah, Tara Reid told me about these things when they happened, so it wasn't like something new out of the blue. Like this has been there. Now, to Josh's point of why didn't they go forward to the mass public? Yeah, that's embarrassing. That's not something, if you don't get what?
I don't get why that's embarrassing. Granted, nothing like that has happened to me, but
Right. Okay. Aaron?
uh-oh.
Oh, wait. No, it would be embarrassing.
What?
Now, granted, I think I know where you're going.
Let's see if you know where I'm going.
He's talking about it, but he hasn't talked about it yet.
You're talking about Idiot Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
See,
if
now
the whole world were to find out about that.
that is totally different, though.
Yeah. So that's not where I was going.
Oh, okay, never
Yeah.
mind.
That's completely different because that's
Okay.
me acting out of
He's
my own thing.
Yeah, he
like
was.
that's not me being like someone coming after me and forcing me against my will on anything.
Yep.
That's me just being stupid.
Yeah. So
Well, I was going to say that the public part.
So here's where I was.
well, yeah.
Here's where I was going to go with this. Okay. Fully hypothetical land here, Aaron.
Yes.
Okay. Aaron is on his motorcycle one day.
Uh-oh.
He
Okay.
decides to go to a biker bar,
Hey.
not realizing it's a different type of biker bar.
Oh.
Bubba
Hey.
decides to make him
Uh,
his special friend, let's say.
No. I'm not liking where this is going.
And Bubba makes you his special friend.
All right.
I'm going to clip that for later.
Oh, no.
That's your own fault.
Yeah. What could I do to myself?
Bubba's going to make you his special friend and stream it live.
Oh, man.
Okay?
Okay.
First off, that's something you're not into, right? That's not nothing you consented to.
Right.
Maybe he chloroformed you or something, or got
There you
you
go.
got you very drunk, bought you a bunch of
Oh, no.
whiskey or something.
So then almost at that point, it's almost my fault. But it's not entirely.
Ooh, you're gonna get the. Ooh,
What?
you're gonna get people upset with
Uh-oh.
that phrase because here's the thing: people have said, "Well, she was drunk."
Mhm.
That's not an excuse for rape.
Oh, no. Not at all.
So just
No.
make it sure. I'm
it's-
saying that right
yeah.
now. That's not an excuse for rape.
No.
But something like that happens where someone takes advantage of you
Mm-hmm.
in any way. That's not something you want exactly broadcasted to the world. I'm going to take this back even simpler. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with us three and Josh over there and Josh Westplate land doing his own Josh Westplate thingies, his own people. But anyways, we use Ever Accountable, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know when, for the most part, there are certain
Yeah.
times when things still somehow get passed.
Right.
Things screw up, and it can be embarrassing even on that level when that can be found out. It's like you don't just go out and say it. You don't just go, I looked at porn today. Normally we don't just go and say that, right?
It's not something we want to do.
Exactly. It's not something we want to do, and the reason is because one, we feel ashamed that we did it.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Now, someone who was assaulted, they're gonna, and they shouldn't feel ashamed because they didn't do anything. Okay.
Yeah.
But part of that is you feel ashamed. You're not going to be exactly proud of that. That's not something you want to just broadcast out to the world. When you do something wrong, or when something wrong happens to you, you don't just go, let me sing about it out in the field of flowers and say about why this is happening.
See, I
get
can't say anything.
I know it's never happened to you.
Yeah, so I can't really
and that's
speak
never
on
happened
it.
to me either. But I get it also at the same time where when something happens, you imagine something happens to you against your will.
Yeah.
You know, some people are gonna be like, I'm going right to the police. I'm going to get done. You know, some people are like that.
Yeah.
Other people are like, yeah, I don't want to say anything.
Right. Which I guess it all depends on the situation, I'd imagine too. But I guess depending on, well, yeah, 27 years ago, I don't know where Biden was at 27 years ago.
He was in the Senate.
Yes. But the other person.
She was his staffer. She worked for him.
Okay.
So not only
I'm trying to think.
So not only do you have potentially a sexual assault incident, and notice I said potentially because it's alleged. There's no 100% concrete. Okay, at this point. But if it's true, you also have a case then where it's a boss taking advantage of an employee,
which is not good. Because I don't know. I feel like if something like that. I hope nothing ever would happen like that to me.
Right.
But I feel like I can't really speak on it because it hasn't happened to me. But I don't feel like I would be someone that would feel ashamed of exposing that.
Well, and hopefully never have to be in that position.
Because I don't know. I guess for me, I'm thinking if someone were to come and tell me that something like that happened to them, am I going to be like looking down on them for someone taking advantage of them, or am I going to feel bad and sympathize and like help them?
Yeah,
and then what's your average person's response going to be like?
You're probably going to, and most people are probably going to feel sympathy, okay?
Yeah,
and try to want to help them. But on the flip side, the person who's revealing that isn't necessarily going to feel anything other than maybe some shame. Like that's hard for them to say, you know?
Yeah.
It's not as simple. They just want to expose it. It's they feel potentially like they did something wrong. Okay. Now, back to Josh's point of 27 years later, why now? Why was it brought up now? You know,
and that can have its
and again that could be said for both Ford and her, Tara Reid. Okay, because in Ford's case, it came out when he was going to Supreme Court. You know, he's been federal judge years before, never came up. But now that he's going to Supreme Court, that's a lifetime appointment sort of deal. It came out. Okay. Biden, he potentially is going to be president, depending on elections and how it goes. They gave Trump zero chance of being president. And look who's president right now. Trump is president. And they're giving Biden zero chance to be president. Look, we may be seeing here next year going, yay, President Biden.
Right.
Yay.
Right.
And Josh will be celebrating, throwing out fireworks, saying, "Oh, hail the chief."
I'm waiting to see that one.
So,
people are going to start coming out and going, "Hail Biden!"
Oh gosh.
So, regardless of the fact, 27 years or not, why it came out. I don't care why it came out. It came out. The accusation was made. Okay.
Yeah.
What I was getting more along the lines of, how has this been treated by the public and the media? And Josh says, I don't like it. I don't like 27-year-old accusations either. Okay. I'm not like, yay, accusations. We should celebrate it. It's like, I hate, 27 years.
It's time to grab the popcorn.
But 27 years is a lot of time between when it happened and what, this stuff. Now, to be fair, there's a lot of photos of creepy Joe Biden out there. Him sniffing kids' hair, him kissing women not on the cheeks. He kisses like his constituents on the mouth, when they come up to him. We should send you to Joe Biden in drag and see what happens.
Oh, the red ruby slipper.
Bye, buddy. What happened to Aaron? He's on a ranch somewhere.
He got kissed by Biden on the lips.
Never to be the same.
But so anyways, in the media, and this is and let me ask you both this. I'll start with Josh here. Yeah, I know I'm going to start with Josh. In the media, when Blasey Ford came forward and said, this is what Kavanaugh did to me at, these parties and these situations, she made the accusations. What was kind of the response of the media and the senators? And obviously I played a clip of a couple senators right earlier, but what was kind of the overall response? What was it? It was, I was asking Josh first.
Talking about for Kavanaugh. What was the
Yeah,
response?
what was their response about Blasey Ford?
When she first came out, almost like overwhelming support for her,
Yes.
just because she was coming out about it.
And there was also a phrase that Biden also said.
Ooh. Oh.
What was it?
Believe the women.
Right. The phrase was, believe all women. All women should be
Believe all
believed.
women, yeah.
In case that was, this is from an interview he did.
Women should be believed.
I cut off the D there, but women should be believed. And he goes on and talks about more. And that's from a PBS interview, so you can find it online about PBS. And where he's saying that women should be believed, first and foremost. And he even talks about it in an interview because he kind of got grilled about it a little bit more recently. But so right away, when Blasey Ford comes out, everyone was like, we believe her. We should believe her. We should give her benefit of the doubt, right? What happened, Johnson, when Tara Reid came forward?
Crickets.
Yeah.
As you were saying kind of earlier, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's more so it seems to be on Biden's side for things, not coming down on him or cracking down on him much.
Well, what I find funny,
Finger. Quote.
A week after the allegations came out, right? Biden's campaign hosted a town forum on what?
Oh shoot.
He hosted a women's town forum, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The week after, because this has been multiple weeks now. Okay. The week after, all three of his kind of, I guess you could say, shortlisted VP picks were interviewed on news shows. Do you want to guess how many times the allegations of Tara Reid were brought up in those interviews with his potential VP picks?
I'm gonna guess none.
Josh?
I'm going to guess none.
You both would be right. 0 times.
Yep.
In fact, Biden didn't get interviewed until this past week
About it.
about this claim. Okay.
Yeah.
So since that time, the Larry King show file has been found, which, by the way, that's one of the episodes that was removed from Google Play.
Really?
Now, CNN said they didn't take it down, so someone else took it down. Don't know who, don't know why, but the episode was taken down off of Google Play. But the clip has been circulating around. So
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
and I have
'Cause once it's
I have
out
a copy
there.
of the clip.
Yeah.
And then this past week, he was interviewed by The Morning Joe. And if you have not watched that interview, the interviewer, she leaves in long, awkward silences where Biden's just kind of like looking around like, what? Like, what do I say? What do I do?
Right. Oh.
And I find it very hypocritical that it has taken this long for the media to even start to take the Tara Reid allegation seriously to be looked into.
Right. Well, yeah.
Where within like 24 hours of Ford saying something, like
Right away. Bing, bing, bing.
she was truthful. She was, compelling evidence, everything. And then when it came out and, things started happening, guess what? Guess how many people corroborated her story? Blasey Ford's.
How many people?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Corroborated her story.
Corroborated. I'd imagine quite a few. Right?
How many? Just take a guess. Number.
Oh, jeez. How many people are involved in this kind of stuff? Jeez. I don't know. Just gonna do a nice even number 10.
Josh, how many corroborated
That could be a
Blasey
lot
Ford's
more.
story?
12.
0.
Wait, what?
I know that's the thing. 0, right? With Tara Reid's allegation, we have at least 2 now. So the amount of evidence against Biden, and again, theory is way higher. In fact, Blasey Ford's friend, who was one of the people they tried to get to testify, she now says that she doubts that the events ever took place, which was interesting. So And what was her friend's name?
What?
Kaiser.
Wait,
Leland Kaiser.
Wow, it was really a 0.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Well, what the heck?
So we have more corroborators
Yeah.
so
With-
far for Tara Reid. Now, I'm not saying just because they have people corroborating doesn't mean she lied or anything like that. That could have
Right.
happened. This sounds horrible, but this could be a long game that she's been playing. You never know.
They
Yeah.
could have, and this is what I've always questioned too, is because women have this power over men through, and this is, I'm not saying this to be sexual or anything, but women can play the role of victim, and people will be sympathetic for them. People will go, oh, okay, because the image that we portrayed is men overpower women.
Mhm.
But women can easily play mind tricks that causes men physically click. So for all we know, there could have been a little affair going on, and something went down, and she just has had it out for him from that day. And
I-
and the hard thing is what was it? One of my coworkers went to he went to be on jury, and it was a very interesting situation. It was a single mom with a kid, and this guy would was having sexual relations with this lady. This lady would drive an hour one way.
Yeah.
She'd put the kid to sleep. She'd leave at about 11, get to his place about 12,
Mhm.
be there for about 2 hours, then drive back home. And this was
Right.
a regular thing. And she called rape one day, and she called rape after he felt like he was noticing things missing, and she was in the house, and so he snuck out to her car and started rummaging through her car, and so she flipped, and after that the stuff stopped, filed rape charges against him.
Right. Yeah.
And
I
the
don't
whole-
go on.
I was gonna say the whole time he was in court, he was apologizing, and everybody on the jury was like, "All right, let's just throw this guy in jail." And my one coworker was like, "He's not guilty. Why don't you guys see this? She is playing him. She was stealing his stuff, and when he started going through her stuff, trying to find his stuff, she called it so he couldn't probably find more than what she wanted him to find, and now is trying to get rid of him because she feels like he knows something he shouldn't know, and now, yeah. So he ended up going to jail for false accusations, but because the jury allowed her to be the victim and win, that's so we don't know.
Well, okay, so in this era of Me Too, the phrase is believe all women. I believe all survivors. So,
Mhm.
in that default, what happened, and what I was going to get at before Josh kind of started in here, this isn't new for Biden. He has had accusations before of inappropriate touching,
Mhm.
where he just kind of comes up behind someone and puts his hands on them and,
Hmm.
just does creepy things. As some had put it. Let me see here, because this I might play this and then I just cut out just a little bit in here, and then have us hear the whole thing here.
Uh-huh.
This is called Biden in the Me Too era. So we'll listen to this and then we'll talk about it afterwards. So I'm not going to play this whole clip.
Out of nowhere, I feel Joe Biden put his hands on my shoulders, get up very close to me from behind, lean in, smell my hair, and then plant a slow kiss on the top of my head.
So it actually had the clip in there that I was looking for
Nice.
about the touching.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's creepy, by the way. And
I mean,
if Josh
I
does
was-
it to you, Aaron, that's
Oh,
expected.
dude. We're friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
because,
We're more
I
than
mean,
friends.
Your husbands.
We're
Yes.
brothers.
We're
Well,
brother
what
husbands.
did something used to say? Brother ladies.
Brother ladies, yeah.
Brother ladies.
So yeah,
Because
Josh,
I'm assuming that lady was, not close with Biden.
no.
So that, I would never think of doing that to someone I didn't really know.
Would you just go up to a random woman and be like,
Just put my hands on her shoulders, going,
yeah,
and then leave a nice kiss on the forehead. No, I wouldn't. That's I mean, I have a hard enough time just talking to a girl, so.
Yeah, we know. We know.
So that would be way past my boundaries.
So, I mean, you know, like I said, this isn't the first. Well, in the context of thing, the Tara Reid thing would be first, but I'm saying this isn't the first, you know, creepy thing he's been known to do. In fact, because he's had these instances before where he, like, after like the whole Me Too thing really started up, because like they said, it started like 9-10 months after his vice presidency ended. You know, he gave an interview where he's like, I understand now that what I did was wrong with the touching, and I need to. The expectations of personal space is different now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I have.
What?
I have pictures. Where he's just kind of like always like, here, like that's during a meeting. He's just like sniffing a woman's hair.
Nice.
It's just weird.
Maybe he's just confused with who the person is. I don't know. Who is
Could
the
be.
person?
You know, there's the bigger picture of it right there.
Lovely.
Just-
I say, who is the lady in the picture?
Don't know.
Okay.
But
I'll probably never know.
She probably did.
But
No,
but that's the thing. It's not the first one. Here's another one of him sniffing a kid's hair while awkwardly holding the kid. That one is a fake. That one's a fake.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Because I was like, what the heck?
Him sniffing Zuckerberg. That one's a fake.
Okay.
But and
The little kid.
this one's another one with him with the little kid at some like reception thing. Just kind of like deadened her.
I mean, granted, that is a photo.
Was
Yeah.
it
Poorly, could be a poorly timed photo. But
was it with you guys or something, or there was a recording, and he was talking about, I love little kids and love swimming with little kids and I love it when the little kids run their hands up and down my hairy legs as they watch the hair move in the water. And it's like, you know, I mean, there's a lot of strange people, a lot of abnormal people,
I mean,
and
yeah, you're the one to talk.
There's a I know.
But
I mean,
same here.
But
though.
I mean, there's enough.
Don't worry.
You know that phrase where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a little more than enough smoke here for me to be like, I would like that investigation to Tara Reid's claim.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know.
So I guess I don't know how recent those photos are, and like when he was talking about how his actions need to change with how he handles like touching people.
just tell him no touching, no touching.
Right? Yeah.
No touch.
No touch.
No touch, Biden. No
See
touch.
what happens.
I guess I wonder how his behavior has changed since then. But still, yeah, it would be. It would be good for that to go through the whole looking into that.
So
it would be fair, I would only imagine.
Yeah. So, NBC News, 1 year ago, they aired a thing, and this is the name of the news piece they aired. Is Joe Biden's touchiness out of touch?
Nice.
Okay, that was a year ago.
Right.
Guardian News, 1 year ago. Joe Biden jokes about having child's permission to touch him.
Huh?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Let's listen to it.
By the way, guys, nothing artificial about. If we don't win, if you don't win, you got a problem. If you win, we win, their future. Right? You realize 54% of the American people think their children will never reach the standard of living they've reached. That's never happened before. 54%. And you guys can sit in the edge or what? I don't want you to have to stand all alone, but
He's
it's up
putting his arm around.
By the way, he gave me permission to touch him. All right? Why did you sit in the room like that?
As he's pulling the kid into his side. And the kid now ran away.
I don't want to give it. Be as bad as it was last time. What? Now, granted, so when did he say that he's realized that his touching or whatever needs to kind of change and he needs to listen to women? That was after his vice presidency?
Yeah.
And this is a year ago.
Yeah.
So this is way after
Yes.
that whole thing.
Yes.
So, okay. Boom.
So, I mean, now, I remember one of the things back in, the whole Blasey Ford thing was they were always saying, we need, whatchamacallit, an FBI report, background check or a report or, something like that into these things. And we need to stop the confirmation and all that until, the report's done, right? You remember that? Yes? No?
Probably not.
Josh, E-boy, do you remember anything like that?
No.
It wasn't just him, it was everyone like saying we need the report to be finished, right? So what happened? It's now what, 28 years ago, 27 years ago, 28 years ago, something like that now.
Yeah.
What happened in the Senate 28 years ago?
Oh, jeez. I wasn't even alive.
I know. But you should know these things.
I probably should, but I don't.
There was another judge going to the Supreme Court who was accused of sexual misconduct.
Oh.
Anita Hill accused him. And I find this interesting on what Joe Biden at that point said about FBI reports. And now, again, this is old, so granted, his views could have changed since then, right? But
the last thing I'll point out, the next person that refers to an FBI report as being worth anything obviously doesn't understand anything. FBI explicitly does not, in this or any other case, reach a conclusion. Period. So, Judge, there's no reason why you should know this. The reason why we cannot rely on the FBI report, you wouldn't like it if we did, because it is inconclusive.
so, that was, during that time, and now it's shifted. We can't, when the Kavanaugh thing happened, we can't do the Kavanaugh thing until the FBI report is done. We need the investigation, all that jazz.
Yeah.
I just find it funny, the shift.
I don't like politics.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, all this has become politics.
Yeah.
If you agree with the person because of the letter after their name, it seems like you believe or don't believe them based on if they have the same letter as you. And I hate to say it, mainstream media, is very much seems to be, for the most part, very much in the pocket in the side of the more liberal side of the aisle. And they're like,
yeah,
oh, whatever. It took till yesterday for the New York Times to finally say maybe the DNC needs to investigate Tara Reade's claims. Till yesterday. It's been a couple weeks now.
Right.
Or Blasey Ford, it was like
instantaneous.
Yep. In fact, well, it's Josh's favorite politician in the world has a statement too.
As far as Biden is concerned, how do Democrats square with the idea that they're essentially they're standing by Biden, but they're using a comparatively different standard with Kavanaugh when you demanded a investigation on Justice Kavanaugh, when a very similar allegation came out on him.
Well, let me just say, I respect your question, and I don't need a lecture or a speech. Here's the thing. I have complete respect for the whole MeToo movement. I have 4 daughters and 1 son, and there's a lot of excitement around the idea that women will be heard and be listened to. There is also due process, and the fact that Joe Biden is Joe Biden. There's been statements from his campaign, or not his campaign, but his former employees who ran his offices and the rest, that there was never any record of this.
First off, Joe Biden is Joe Biden. How's that a defense of an action? Aaron is a defense because Aaron's a little airheaded sometimes. So we all get that.
People just died.
Aaron is Aaron.
Aaron is Aaron. I mean, what do you expect? Aaron is Aaron.
That's the.
What did he use? Aaron is Aaron.
That's kind of that same phrase as "boys will be boys," or all that stuff. Boys will be boys. Whatever. Yes. There's some truth. Actually, I will say the boys will be boys because in general,
boys will be boys.
boys will be a little more roughhousey than and Josh will find this out with his triplets.
You wait till your boys start fighting in the house and stuff like that.
And Josh is gonna be like, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
But saying Biden is Biden, what does that mean in the context of a defense? How does that help or hurt? Honestly, it hurts more than anything.
It hurts
because now when I think of it, I go, Biden will be Biden. Oh,
he's gonna
go sniff my hair. Gotta stay away from him.
Make sure I'll have the dog eat some poop and lick my hair first.
But I mean, Biden is Biden.
Yeah.
Biden is beaten.
Oh,
has he built up such a good name for himself? Because it doesn't seem like it.
Well, people on the Democratic side, when this whole Corona thing started, they're like, please, Biden, don't get sick. You're our only hope.
Here's what frustrates me about
Can you
politics.
just get younger people?
Well, see, that's the issue, is younger people don't have money. Everybody recently that's been politics have been millionaires or are supported by millionaires and billionaires. Look at the one guy came in, he was a millionaire. What was his name?
Bloomberg?
Bloomberg, thank you.
Oh,
He just comes in.
He wasn't a millionaire. He was a billion.
I thought I said billion.
Oh, I thought I heard million.
Oh.
Regardless of fact, go on.
But I mean, it's voter bias. That's all it is. What can you get out of these situations? The Democrats don't want to go into an election without any support because then it just makes them look even weaker. It looks them like they don't have anybody. It sucks that everybody has an alternative agenda these days. You can't trust people. It sucks. It's they sit there and they Republicans rammed Obama. Democrats rammed Trump. Now Republicans are ramming the Democrats, and the side that gets rammed is the side that gets that sits there and plays the victim, and they support the person. Like I have a coworker. He sits there. He loves going, "Oh, your buddy Trump," or he likes to start it out like that.
Well,
and I go,
you do brag that you got to shake his hand or whatever on stage.
I don't brag.
There was a short period of time.
Yeah, there was.
But that's because everyone was asking you.
Oh yeah, but I mean at the same time,
Anyways, go on.
How often do you get to be so close to one of the most protected people in the world, and they're just okay with you being by them? I had Secret Service looking up and down me. I mean, he could have been checking me out, but I mean, if I twitched, I probably would have been dead. Yeah,
It feels Biden. He would have been sniffing his hair.
Probably.
Especially because you probably put like hair, fruity stuff in your hair, don't you?
Was that when I had long hair? I don't think I had long hair.
You had short hair.
You had short hair. Yeah.
So
did I spike it? I probably spiked it.
I don't remember.
I
probably did.
I don't sit there and go through the history and go, "Oh, you teenager
boy."
Biden definitely would have been sniffing your hair.
Yeah,
he probably would have been licking it. Bitten by Biden. That's going to be the new phrase. Bitten by Biden.
No, it's not bitten by Biden. It's Biden
sniffed.
is Biden.
Biden is Biden, and you're getting sniffed.
Anyways, but so one of my coworkers, he'll sit there and he'll call Trump out. He'd be like, "Are you okay with the man that says grab him by the pussy?" I'm thinking to myself, dude, you say some absurd things you would not want to say in front of your daughter. So what are you saying? And then my one coworker comes in and just probs him just because he can prob him, and this guy gets all fussy. He goes, "Well, at least I don't like kids sitting on my lap and I get aroused by it." He goes, "Well, you don't." Yeah, he makes it okay because it is somebody he would rather see somewhere else. It's voter bias. That's all it is.
Well, on the flip side, on the good side, for the first time that we know of, we have two candidates. We have Trump and potentially Biden as a second candidate, who are both accused of being inappropriate with women.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Right.
Congratulations.
This is what America's
Anyways,
but I mean, if in general speaking, and I'm not, if you are somebody of wealth, somebody of money, and somebody who's been in positions of power and control for a long time, I apologize. I'm not targeting you on this, but there has been a trend with men and money. They tend to objectify people, and especially women, more so than people without.
You mean Epstein's Islands?
There's that, and the fact that when political conventions happen,
yeah,
sex trafficking increases. you have all this stuff, and the media tries to hush it most of the time. But anyways,
I kind of hope that the Democrat convention goes all virtual, so that way we don't have to have that crap here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Let's get back to listening to the rest of Josh's favorite politician.
Yes, there was never any record, and that nobody ever came forward, or nobody ever came forward to say something about it apart from the principal involved. I am so proud. The happiest day for me this week was to support Joe Biden for President of the United States. He's a person of great integrity, a great concern for the American people. He authored the Violence Against Women Act when he was the chair of the Judiciary Committee.
Just because you author something does not mean you are immune to something.
yeah.
Okay?
Aaron goes to church doesn't mean he's susceptible to look at pornography.
Right.
Exactly.
Just because someone is a pastor doesn't mean they don't look at porn, or maybe they don't cheat or do drugs or
struggle with pedophilia, or
whatever these things are. Just because there's that old kind of the thought that sometimes, and this is a thought, and in some ways it's true. Some of the most fanatic people of a particular thing are sometimes some of the people involved in it. That whole phrase, the woman doth protest too much. I'm not saying that because he authored the bill, therefore he is guilty of it. I'm not saying that, but there is that kind of mindset that does happen. But again, just because you author the bill does not make you immune from being someone who is part of the reason that the bill was written for.
Right.
Again, go back to all those poor children who had to touch his leg hair.
Speak it, brother. Speak it. My God.
In the 90s, he has been an advocate for funding it all along since then. And I believe that he will be a great president of the United States. He is the personification of hope and optimism and authenticity for our country, a person of great values. So I want to remove all doubt in anyone's mind. I have great comfort level with the situation as I see it, with all the respect in the world for any woman who comes forward, with all the highest regard for Joe Biden. And that's what I have to say about that.
So at the end, she kind of addresses the whole MeToo movement thing. Again, MeToo movement says, believe all women 100%, and I am all for, if someone is assaulted, come forward, let them be believed, and then let's go on and, get that taken care of. Let there be due process, justice involved. All for that. But here at the end here, Nancy Pelosi, again, Josh's favorite politician in the world. Yeah. I say that facetiously, Josh. I say that facetiously because I know you are such a... It's not your favorite. You want to sniff her hair. Anyways, but she's like, I want to remove all doubt. I believe Joe Biden, essentially, is what she's going for.
Yep. And
I loved how she said, he is the embodiment of all of our hopes and values. I'm just like, I do not go around sniffing kids' hair. That would be a red flag, and I should be investigated if I did that. Unless someone comes up to me and says, hey, does my hair smell like a dog that just ate poop, licked it? Could you smell that for me? Because I can't smell today. That's the only time. Going up behind someone, putting my hands on their shoulder, leaning in close to them, sniffing their hair, then kissing them on the head. Unless that's my girlfriend.
Right. I probably wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. If Josh did that to me, I'd be like, Josh, go away right now. Go to your wife. You need your wife.
You need get your hands off me.
If Aaron did that to me, I'd be like, Aaron, I'm going to castrate you with my hands in a second. Go away.
No, I'm going to do it for the fun of it.
But I mean, the double standard here, because
for real.
Here's the thing. If someone came out and said that about believing Kavanaugh, in fact, let's not even talk about when people said, we need due process and all that, people went after those people, said, why aren't you believing Ford?
Yeah. Is her word not good enough for you?
And it's just drives me nuts. Now, again, if something happened to Ford and that's horrible. Okay, I'm not downplaying that.
Nope.
Is there potential that could have happened?
Of course.
Yes, there is potential that could have happened. I don't have the facts,
Nor were you there.
Yeah, exactly. But I find it funny that no one is corroborating her story, Ford's story, but Tara Reid does have people corroborating it.
Yeah.
Have you heard the Larry King episode? Okay, so it's a short segment where her mother calls in. I'm sorry, I got like a little animated there for a second. So let's play Larry King live on CNN. It's a minute, maybe.
We're back. A couple more phone calls on this very important topic. Our guests are former United States Senator Howard Baker, Richard Allen, former National Security Advisor, and Lois Romano of the Washington Post. San Luis Obispo, California. Hello.
Yes, hello. I'm wondering what a staffer would do besides go to the press in Washington. My daughter has just left there after working for a prominent senator and could not get through with her problems at all. And the only thing she could have done was go to the press, and she chose not to do it out of respect for him.
Or she had a story to tell, but out of respect for the person she worked for, she didn't tell it.
That's true.
Well, but these are the people who do come to the Lois Romanos, right? The staff worker who says, I want to let you know about what's going on, either with my boss or the guy down the hall.
And a lot of these people have a sense of obligation. They feel that this public official should be accountable if it's something wrong.
They're whistleblowers to the press.
Exactly.
There was more on it, too, that they obviously can't play the whole thing because, well, hello, copyright strikes. But that person has been identified as Tara Reid's mother, calling in, asking for advice on what should my daughter do on
this whole situation.
Yeah. And they go for, there's more on it, obviously. But again, that's one piece of the corroborating because that happened right around the time of the allegation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. It really is.
I guess, going back to kind of what Josh was saying, everybody has their own motives to stuff and will cover things up to make things happen that work out the best for them. And it's just some big selfish game of getting the best deal for yourself. I don't know. I hate politics.
Well, we're always going to have some sort of politics in the world, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, fun, right? You're just like, what?
Just get this over with. No, I'm gonna start sniffing Brewer's hair now, though, just to make him uncomfortable.
Brewer would actually probably enjoy that.
He's probably fine with it.
He's probably using like some lavender shampoo or something like that.
Ooh, what are you doing? What, oh my!
So for those listening right now, Josh is now sniffing Aaron's hair.
How nasty is it? I didn't shower this morning.
And picking
get out of my hair.
Dandruff out of it.
Would you please go on the record with the American people? Did you sexually assault Tara Reid?
No, it is not true. I'm saying unequivocally, it never happened. And it didn't. It never happened.
It never happened, right?
And it didn't. It never happened.
Do you remember her? Do you remember any types of complaints that she might have made?
I don't remember any type of complaint she may have made. It was 27 years ago. And I don't remember, nor does anyone else that I'm aware of. And the fact is that I don't remember. I don't remember any complaint ever having been made.
You were unequivocal, Mr. Vice President, back in 2018 during the Kavanaugh controversy and hearings. And you said that women should be believed. You said this: for a woman to come forward in the glaring lights of focus nationally, you've got to start off with the presumption that at least the essence of what she is talking about is real. Whether or not she forgets the facts, whether or not it's been made worse or better over time. She's going to be going on national television on Sunday. Tara Reid is coming forward in the glaring lights. To use your words, should we not start off with the presumption that the essence of what she's talking about is real? She says you sexually assaulted her.
Look, from the very beginning, I've said believing women means taking the woman's claims seriously. When she steps forward and then vet it, look into it. That's true in this case as well. Women have a right to be heard, and the press should rigorously investigate claims they make. I'll always uphold that principle. But in the end, in every case, the truth is what matters. And in this case, the truth is the claims are false.
Coming from you.
But yet they should be investigated. But it's false.
You're right.
So, and those are 3 separate, very short clips of an exclusive interview he did with the Morning Joe this past week. And it essentially the interviewer just kept trying multiple times to get the question through to Joe, like, can you say you did not do this, and what's your proof, essentially? And that last one was like, okay, here, let's use your own words. And this was kind of going back to what Josh was saying somewhat earlier, where it's like, these people are coming into the spotlight. Again, this isn't something that's like you can do over the shadow. They're coming into the spotlight direct, where they can be challenged.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not I agree or believe Blasey Ford and what, happened, okay? She agreed to testify. She came forward. She put herself on the spotlight, out in front of everybody, for people to challenge and question and presume and make assumptions. Same thing with Tara Reid here. They are not just sitting idly by. They are putting themselves out for ridicule, for potentially, especially if what they say is true, to be harmed more through continual emotional and psychological damage while they relive and go through those things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so, Biden's like, because of that, we have to take the utmost, again, his previous words, essentially, we have to take the utmost care to say that these are true. That's where we start. That's what, his comment was. And then in the interview, he goes, but, we need to investigate. And these are false. So,
right.
It just, it was like listening to an old crazy person try to tell a story and getting everything out of order. So, like listening to Josh tell a story. We love you, Josh.
You are the old man. You have earned that name.
Well, now he's the old man with no sleep.
Cranky old man.
Yeah. He's going to soon be yelling at his neighbors, get off my lawn.
You just don't have an M1.
We both own it.
He won't care. So, I mean, just the way this has been treated from both sides. Now, I am glad finally some of the news channels are finally starting to pick this and take this seriously. But I'm kind of upset that it took this long
to do it.
Whereas if this was a person accusing Trump from like 50 years ago,
it would have been
it would have been like front page news.
Next day of.
And of course, we're coming up, I remember when during the election cycle, or shortly thereafter, there was that dossier or whatever, the Steele dossier, saying how Trump had prostitutes urinate on the bed or whatever. It was just like some weird fetish thing from like Russia. Turns out all that false.
That is weird.
But again, they were using the whole concept of believe all women in this case, and they're sort of like, well, this has to be true. We need proof to prove it's not true. And well, the whole dossier went
right.
Regardless, if it's against someone they don't like Josh was saying, I almost called him Trump. Like Josh was saying, if it's against someone you don't like and you immediately jump to it, and if it's against someone you like and you don't immediately jump to it, you're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. I may not like Biden and I may like Kavanaugh. I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying if I follow traditional party lines, put that in quotes, because Kavanaugh leans more Republican, Biden's obviously Democrat,
What? I'm sorry.
But even with Blasey Ford, I think she should have gotten that full investigation, to be honest.
Yeah.
it should have been brought to scrutiny. And part of it was kind of brought to scrutiny. She at least testified and everything. And I was like, good. They're at least investigating. Now, where there's enough smoke there for fire, I personally didn't think so, but obviously there was enough to warrant some action. Good. The Tara Reid thing, there was smoke, and everyone's just like, da 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 da. Now, it didn't help Tara Reid's case again because she was a Bernie bro. She's like Josh, a Bernie bro.
Yeah. Feel the burn.
I keep using Josh because he's quiet and he makes facial expressions, so therefore he gets to be the target of all this. He's a Pelosi son.
Pelosi son.
But there was smoke from the corroborations, and yet people just said nothing. It finally took many people to kind of complain for them to even start like, oh, maybe we should look at it.
I guess we'll check it out.
Yeah, we'll check it out. One of the newspapers, I forget which one, so I won't say the name of one I'm thinking of, but they gave an interview and they said, well, we don't think we can bring anything new to the Tara Reid story. That's why we're not covering it. It's like,
what?
Yes, but how many newspaper articles, online things were there about Kavanaugh and Ford?
Right.
And Tara Reid, we might be up to maybe 10 articles total across all the major news systems. So yeah, drives me nuts. The inconsistency, the hypocrisy. And you know what? I understand hypocrisy is going to be true because humans, we are hypocritical at our very core nature.
Oh yeah, big time.
So I'm not saying they're being anti-human. They are being very much human. That doesn't mean it can't annoy me.
Yeah, humans annoy me.
Well, you are
I
human.
annoy myself.
I get it. Trust me. I get it. So, Josh, you've been quiet. Do you have anything last things to say?
No, I'm good. Aaron Paul rant is kind of nice.
What?
Especially when he starts to throw his hands in the air with frustration.
Well, I had to do something because you're sitting over there purchasing something again.
Oh, what were you buying now?
I had to pay to get my address changed.
Johnson, do you have any last words?
I don't like politics. No, not really though. I mean, obviously, pretty much is what you said. With the whole current situation, yeah, it should be looked into and given its due process and treated fairly, and not put off to the side to wait, especially since this guy is a potential president.
Yeah.
So I'd much rather have it looked into and treated seriously, especially with the fact of him becoming possible president.
Well, yeah, I agree. Well, I got no final words. Instead, I will let Biden have the final words.
All right, Biden.
Wait for the records from the National Archives. Are you absolutely certain? Are you absolutely positive there is no record of any complaint by Tara Reid against you?
I am absolutely positive that no one that I'm aware of ever has been made aware of any complaint, a formal complaint made by or a complaint by Tara Reid against me at the time this allegedly happened 27 years ago or until I announced for I guess it was in April or May of this year.
By the way, that interview took place at the end of April.